Okay, so there's a couple things I want to talk about, but I think I'm going to kind of rant. I don't want to forget about saying this because yesterday, the thing that I was like at the end, I was like, what was that I was going to say? It was also in Florida, not just the shortage on gas and not just all the gay people are freaking the fuck out, which I'll talk about in a second too. But oh man. And, a guy that was on here who started his own channel. He just moved to Florida. Oh my gosh! And now all of the gay people want to leave Florida because of the laws that they're changing. There's a lot of concerns. People are freaking out. But anyways, another thing that's going on in Florida, besides that there's no gas and they've trapped people, is they did an alarm that was an emergency alarm. And now I've seen that they did one in someplace else, but she said it was so weird. She didn't understand why they all of a sudden did it. It was yesterday morning at 4:45. And so she was asking if other people had gotten this emergency alert test. But the thing is why I'm saying it is I have seen video after video after video of people all different, like not just Americans, like these people are from somewhere else too. And they're saying on the 22nd and the 23rd. So maybe it depends on your time zone of what date it is. So I think today's the 21st. Yeah, because yesterday was the 20th. I think I could be lost on days though, I swear to God. But that there's supposed to be this mass fucking emergency alert that's going to go out globally. And it's going to, that is supposed to be the 22nd or 23rd. I keep hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. And I don't know, they keep saying it's a global event. And so I don't know if one side's pushing it or what the hell is going on. But they're saying that when that event occurs, that there can be this could be when there's going to be some dangerous stuff. So anyways, this weekend again, that's why yesterday I was saying it seems like this weekend could be it, because I keep seeing all of this footage talking about it. So I don't know if there's some plan going on behind the scenes or what the hell is going on. One thing is though, Jesus Christ, the sounds in the sky over here by me are just getting freakier and freakier. Like, I swear to God. And it just is because I know it's because people are just not awake. And so things just get so much more intense. And so it's this buildup, And it was last night, it was freaking me out. It was sounding like explosions. It suddenly started pouring. It was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Hurry up. Whatever you're going to do, just do it. Fuck, I'm frazzled. And and then the day before, it was in the evening and it sounded like a plane was crashing. It was woo, that sound, woo, whatever. And then there was no sound. It was like, oh my God, I got me are these people going to crash into our neighborhood? Like, it's so fucking creepy. And it's just like one thing after another. And I'm just like, I don't understand how people, and the color out here in the weird weather. Oh my God, I had to have a fire yesterday. Again, it is like frigid cold. This is fucking almost May. And I moved here, don't forget, because it's supposed to be between 35 and 75 most of the year, and it's fucking frigid. It is, but another weird thing about Washington State, because I know that we are some beta testing, like the level I see things is so different. If people could just see through my eyes, it would be like, it was like putting on different glasses and all of a sudden seeing the truth, I swear to God. And, but in Washington State is, and I mean like the space, the spaces that we are in and stuff, and how travel really is, and about the people and what the people really are, and all of this stuff. So there's so much stuff that, man, and just people do not understand at all. Like, this is just a for instance. So there's some fucking, what are those things called? I was just thinking about them. Filter. So all these, there's like the makeup girls really like the filters. And a lot of girls that don't wear any makeup like the filters because it puts the makeup on you and you don't have to put on makeup. So a lot of people on TikTok for sure. I don't know about Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but on TikTok, they use these filters all the time. And so it's hard to even tell what someone looks like. The other day, a girl who just looked kind of, plain and simple, put a filter on, and oh my God, I mean, it made her just like drop dead gorgeous. I mean, it was incredible. I kept going back and forth trying to figure out how did it do that. Like, it was crazy. And so I could see if I was that girl, I'd be like, hell yeah, that's the face I'm putting out there, because it's like the same but enhanced. And that is what the QHHT, all the things that I had listened to, is that the people, all who were going in the age of Aquarius, once they were in the new earth, that they all saw themselves as being just like a primo specimen of themselves. Like, they were just enhanced. They were just like, everybody was just like their best self. Their body was their base. Everybody was just their best. And so we're going to go into that for sure, where people are going to, look their best and become their best version. And so but the thing is I'm seeing the point I want to make, because, I mean, that is going to be a thing where people will start looking like how they want to look. But on this filter thing, so you got to think about these filters it's all part of a way to get you to not like yourself more. Don't like yourself. I mean, look at how good you can look if you just put this filter on. And so the crazy thing is their eyebrow filter now. So all these girls are doing this eyebrow filter to see how their eyebrows would fit mathematically or something. And so it's all these angles and stuff, and they draw these dots and then draw in the eyebrows and all this. And the thing is like, this one girl said, oh, this is what my eyebrows should look like. This is what they're supposed to be like. No, your face looks like it's supposed to look. That's what it's supposed to look like. This face right here that I spent most of my life trying to come to terms with, that I hated, wanted to change, and everything else, this is my face. This is Kelly. This is the face of Kelly. So once I start changing it, and then you got to think too, like, it's a part of your DNA too. Like, some of these like kids and stuff that come back and remember their past lives, and they go and do the research and find the person that they claim to be. When you look at the two, their eyes are very similar. There's a structure that is very similar. Like, there's something about you that is always you. But it doesn't mean that you always look exactly the same. I mean, I know that I've been a freaking tall, skinny black guy. And when I used to see him in dreams, I didn't think he looked like me. I mean, he looked different. But there would have been something, because I was him. And it was my projection. It was me experiencing. So it is, it's me. And so these girls, they're sitting there like, and this is the same concept to keep in mind, because this is the geoengineering of human beings, because it is the same position with the transhumanism is, change. Oh, God made a mistake. God didn't do this right. If you feel you're supposed to be this, then one of the things that I keep seeing too is how many parents fear suicide out of their kids if they don't do this. And that is a big thing. I'd rather do this than have my child be a statistic. You got to see how much manipulation is going on in people's minds, and how much is based on fear and stuff. And so even when we want to sit here, like, I want to judge these parents, like, how can you not see? And but they're being so manipulated and then pushing on that fear. Like, well, look what happens if you don't listen to them. And so that is a big conversation on the internet, social media, or whatever you want to call it. Then, but the eyebrow thing, when they want to sit there and then they're like, oh, it's supposed to be like, I don't know, like a lot of them are moving their eyebrows in closer together and then lengthening them or something, and they're just changing them, and then they're thinking that the artificial way looks better than the natural way, instead of just accepting their face. See, and then they're selling them on this like manufactured artificial look, because your eyebrows don't need to be mathematically placed on your face. They just are placed on your face where they're supposed to be, because that's what you are, that's what you look like, and that's who you are. And once you come to terms with that, that's what you represent. That's what you're presenting to the world, is the true you. Because you've come to terms with like, oh yeah, these are my eyebrows. Yeah, these are my eyes, all right. Yeah, that's my crooked nose. Yeah, that's my mouth. Like, that is Kelly. And if I start changing it, then it's like, it's going like I'm going with the same idea with this clones and shit. I just saw one where they showed Zac Efron as a youngster, and then they showed him now or something, and I don't know if this is real, because I mean, so many people just say bullshit. Like the guy who's going around saying that Nick Lachey has to stand on a box because he's 5'2". He is doing that just to prove that people believe lies. It's like, okay, so in the world of misinformation, let's go out and make up senseless lies. Like, does it really fucking matter how tall the guy is? Like, we already know Hollywood is lies. We already know they have to make them stand on boxes and stuff like that. So why are you going out and creating more lies just to cause more confusion? Like, we need to be clearing up the lies, not just creating more confusion, especially on stuff that doesn't fucking matter. Just like that one lady who I saw months and months ago, who's putting out like certain actors died today. And it's like, they're not even dead. It's like, what is up with these people? Like, are you just so bored in life? Like, it's so weird. But anyways, after I get off the Nick Lachey thing, let me think back where I was, because now I feel like I got to skip over to this other thing, because I forgot what I was talking about, and I go off on that thing. But I don't know if you any of you guys have seen, there's one of the, like I said, there's a lot of these bearded men that are the ones that seem to be the most extreme. Like, there's so many different trans women, especially, but I've seen trans men too, coming out, and tons of women saying, look, I'm a trans, I'm just trying to fit into society. I'm just living my life. I don't stand with all their weird agendas. I know perfectly well that I'm not a real woman. I know I'm a trans woman. And, most of the people understand, and most of them had such extreme body dysphoria. I mean, there's some that are having to detransition. I've seen more now over medical issues, and they're falling apart. Like, they were finally feeling more comfortable in their body, and now they got to go back the other way, and they're falling apart. But that is part of the whole, showing. Drugs and artificial shit can't change who you are. It's all a fucking game. It's all a manipulation. The contest, the thing you're trying to accomplish is to love yourself and accept yourself. Come to terms with your face. Come to terms with your body. Like, I mean, once I get my artificial, chest off, and then I just go back to my natural self, I've got like, hourglass going that way, but like, I don't have a butt and stuff like that. Like, I don't have some perfect body. And I'm, before I was very flat chested, like I said, that one boyfriend I had said I was, like a stick figure. He said, that little emoji lady on this store called Judy's, and she was a stick figure. He goes, your body is kind of like hers. Thanks. So, anyways, but, and I had a hard time accepting it because of comments like that. And I mean, I was even bullied by a lot of girls. Like, how embarrassing to not have any boobs. Like, that's so embarrassing. And, I mean, that's why here they are. Like, I can buy some. And it's like I just needed to come to terms with loving myself, because then putting the artificial things that then are uncomfortable. And then to know how toxic they are to my system. I mean, fuck, for all I know, it's one of the what I'm allergic to is the fucking implants. And that's why I've got this extreme mucus all the time. I can't wait till this black seed oil gets here today. I'm really excited to start doing that. And I was watching a bunch of videos on the borax. Boy, that is a back and forth thing. You see some doctors, hell no. You see some doctors, hell yeah. You see, I saw a washer repair person saying, don't take that. I use that for cleaning. But the borax, the 20 mule is just boron or something. It's just clear boric acid stuff. And so it has a lot of good benefits and a lot of minerals and stuff. And so anyways, there's a nano bath that you can do that has that. It's like the basic stuff that all these different baths are, except for it's got that, I think, added into it. But one of the things that says on the recipe, make sure you don't use the table salt. So I don't know what happens if you put ionized salt. It must just make the whole thing not work, because it's the alkaline or something that we're trying. I think they've got all of us in an acidic state, or are too alkaline. They've got us out of balance with all the chemicals and stuff. And that's why so many people have so many GI issues and stuff, and why you need to reset your flora in the alkaline kind of acidic. Like it's too heavy in one direction. Like there has to be good bacteria and bad bacteria. And so it's too heavy in the bad bacteria. And so that's what causes like bloating and gas and stuff like that. So you got to add a lot of the good bacteria. But it's to rebalance the alkaline acidic state of your whole self. So that is what we're always trying to find. And that's what we're fighting against, because they know, and they're doing it on purpose to keep us out of balance. Emotionally, physically, mentally, everything is to keep us less than what we are, keep us simple. Because, I mean, how fun if you can have a lot of gods and goddesses that are your slaves and they don't even know. And that's what they have going here. And then you try and tell people, and there's like, oh my God, like it's you're a heretic or something. How dare you say you're a god? Like, the gods will shine on us if we do. Our gods are going to come and get us. Like, it's all like, it's like totally just zeitgeist. Like, I just think about like in the running out there, oh, please, moon, please. And there is a part of that is real. But it's the connection. And see, you think about how they took over religion and stuff. Like, that was the taking over of spirituality as far as I'm concerned. Like, they're going to want this, to know where they're from, what they are. So let's just, we'll do this story. It's a very manipulative story, but it is the something about the hero's journey and stuff. And that is what we're all kind of on, this journey to self. And to being your best self. And so they have like those underlying concepts, but they manipulate it all. And so in the religion, there's just so much, with the manipulation. But the people who have, something else came into my mind, and just, like, this is like, sometimes when it starts going like that, it's like, okay, so I'm not supposed to talk about that anymore? Or is it just like a lot of information coming in? There's definitely a lot of information coming in. So skipping around, maybe just because it's just like, sometimes it's like popcorn going off in your head. Like it's just like boom, 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 boom. But so on the Florida thing, and this is the thing that, see, they use these things to their benefit. Like they create this LBGTQ, whatever, a whole concept so that they can use it is, division, political agenda, all of it, so that they can look like they're good people. And I don't even know what all, if there was a lot of draw to get a lot of gay people to go to Florida or something. There sure is a lot of there, because there sure is a lot of videos of them all freaking out, like, we gotta get the fuck out of Florida, because something with the laws that they have changed that are very dangerous and even carry a death penalty. And all of this stuff is going to be death. I mean, that is going to be the penalty for a lot of things. I mean, of certain crimes. Like, I'm telling you, there's going to be people we are involved with crimes against kids. Like I wouldn't want to be fucking up in the in Chase Bank. Like, I wouldn't want to be up in their administration. Like, I don't know when they are doing all these investigations, the links and stuff, because once you are taking money and taking money and closing your eyes to what's going on, you're part of the problem. So you're going to be held accountable for that. And I don't know if those are the people that are going to be in Gitmo, and the people who actually did the crimes are going to be on the other end of the, I'm not sure. I just know that this is serious, what's about to go down. Very serious. And I don't think people are going to be expecting it. And you have this whole group of people who are so anti-Trump. Oh my gosh, now the footage is just, I keep seeing people share, what a monster he is. He's going to go in and do this to the homeless and stuff like that. So you're not hearing, you're hearing it backwards. He's doing the opposite of what these people think. He is going in and helping people. He said that there's going to be 10 cities. That's not, okay, so we got Jackson already going, because before he had said 11. So Jackson's already taken a stand, and they're like, we're separating from, we're going to be our own entity. We're not going to be governed by federal laws anymore. We're going to be our own place. We'll have our own rules, our own laws, our own community. And there's going to be 10 more of those. And there's going to be way more, just like I said. Once people start catching on to what's going on, there's going to start being communities that are built all over the place. There's going to be way more than 10. We're not all going to have to fit into 10 cities. But this is the start. So it's just the beginning. And so he is saying, that we're going to go in. And he said, but a lot of these people don't want help. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to force help on people. There are people who, you got to respect what a soul wants to do. And some souls are here just to experience this end. They're not here for the next part. There is a challenge to this whole part to get to the next part. It's going to be very challenging. And so a lot of souls are not here to get to the next part. Because, just for what we've been going through over the past couple of years is hard. And you can see by the end, you will be your best self. When you ride this out, you will become your best self. Just doing the detoxing and stuff like that, like my skin's getting better. I would say my hair, except for the fucking radiation, motherfuckers. But there's so much that starts improving in just how you feel. I guess the chemicals and the attitude and stuff is what ages people. Like, we don't have to be aging like they tell us to. We don't have to be sick. I saw a video yesterday, this girl, and I had flicked past the first one because there's just so many of them, so fucking many of people just sitting and crying in crisis. And I can't handle it. There's so many. I'm fucking somehow on the animal one now, and it's fucking horrendous. Like, oh my God, I can't even. This world is so full of pain and suffering and abuse, and it's just so sickening. But but a soul gets to decide, just like with the case of Stella, and it's hard. It's hard as shit to be with her and when she goes through and it gets more often and more often, these bad days, and she struggles and she's grumpy. And so, I know 100% so many people would have already put her down, would have just been like, no, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not going to do that. And the same with Winston. You know, I mean, I went to the end until he started showing that he was having a lot of pain. And then when the women came out for him, they said, oh, it's a good thing you called us now. She said it gets way worse from there. And, but I could tell he was getting uncomfortable. And so, you know, he had 12 good years, you know. I mean, he had a great life. He was a happy guy. And so, yeah, I don't want him to just, you know, lay there and go to skin and bones starving and can't get up, you know. It was already, I mean, he already couldn't hold anything in. He was already going through so much, you know. But anyways, so with Stella, though, I'm not going to, because it's difficult for me emotionally to go and just put her down, or because it's too much work or whatever. It takes up too much time or whatever, which I know that so many people would. But to me, I respect her as a soul on her journey. And I know that I'm not meant to do anything about the interfering of that journey. That's between her and her maker, whatever you think that is. And, you know, and I know that my relationship with her is not, but I can't, I mean, that's how I feel right now. Like, I mean, if she, you know, all of a sudden couldn't get up and is laying on the floor crying, then yeah, I would definitely call. I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? But as she is, you know, has bad days, but still loves to go out and go to walks, still likes to get treats, still likes to go out and play. I mean, she doesn't play so much, but she likes to have other dogs around her. But anyways, you know, I'm just, so it is like a different, like, respect of life, like seeing her as an independent soul, not just something that is here to entertain me. And so, you know, just the respect and value. Oh, because that, yeah, because I think with the religion thing and stuff like that, if we would have, and I think they did it for sure on purpose, because the natural thing when they started going and seeing like tribes and stuff like that, the natural thing is, you know, they connected to their spirit through plant medicine, through song, through dancing, through community, and through connection with nature, through meditation. So all these practices that these different tribes were doing to find balance, to be in balance and harmony with the earth. See, that's why they had to, you know, like, you know, oh, let's kill all them. We can't have them spreading the word to these, you know, our science projects over here. So they, you know, started killing them all. And because they knew the truth. It isn't in churches that you find connection. It's in yourself, wherever you can go and find peace, to connect to the world, to find balance in heart. And once you connect, you know that there is a harmony that has to occur, and you're a part of that. You're a part of that melody. And so, you know, are you the part that is the, you know, going to screech out? Or are you in, you know, flow? Are you making the song more beautiful, or are you making it, you know, treacherous? You know, that is what you start to realize, is what part do you play? You know, what are you doing? What are you putting out into the world? And so it is, you know, it's like a lot of self-reflection when you connect spiritually to this place and who you are, and try and understand yourself. And that is, you know, a big thing of why they want to do this to kids, and why they want to turn it against, like, where the Christians think, oh, they're turning it against Christians and stuff. No, they're just trying to turn people against all things about God. Listen to the other side of the narrative, what they say. I mean, God makes mistakes even on fucking eyebrows. He doesn't know how to get that fucking shit right. And that he sure the hell doesn't know how to get a gender right. Like, that's just like completely crazy. Which, to me, we're to the point where we got to just say, if you got a vagina, you go in this bathroom. If you got a penis, you go in that one. Because it's nonsense for these guys who have penises to go in girls' bathrooms because you grew your hair out and you wear a dress. Who fucking cares? You're a cross-dresser. Go in your own bathroom. I don't care if it's embarrassing. Then be yourself, but be in your own fucking penis bathroom, not the vagina one. And the fucking swimmer said when she went in to go, they are going into the competition, they're going in and they're changing, they heard there was going to be this trans person or something, and she said, so they're in there, taking their clothes off, putting their swimsuits on, and all of a sudden this guy, full 100% penis swinging, is standing there changing with them in front of them, and the girls all like start covering up. It's like, what in the wackadoo fucking nonsense is fucking happening? And then you got this guy, the one, there's a whole bunch of these bearded men out there, talking about we need to accept them as trans. It's like, dude, you don't have a vagina, you've got a beard, you just put on a dress. Some of you didn't even grow your hair out. Some of you didn't even bother with extension or wigs. Some of you still got your damn ass receding hairline. It's like, what? And so the one that is going viral like crazy, and because he was, he was making threats. Like, you try and stop me and my friends going in the bathroom, you see what happens. And he's packing, he says. And I even saw in comments where people are like, I thought liberals didn't carry guns. So you go start seeing people are multifaceted. Stop trying to fit in groups. It's all the exposure. You can't lump us in groups. I even oh, god damn. First I got finished on this guy, but then I got to talk about this professor of mental health that I saw talking about the last generation, the one that is having so many issues right now. But I got finished on this fella. And so all these people, like, I feel kind of bad for him. It's like, dude, you fucking, I guess apparently he wanted this kind of attention. It's crazy. He's got like 800 followers, and this blew up this big. And he lives in Washington State. He lives in Leavenworth. That's the little German mountain town. So someplace you would think is a vacation. I mean, that's what it is a place where people go on vacation, and it's all German, and it's up in the mountains. It's very separate from anywhere. And this guy lives there. And I don't know where all he goes to go to the bathroom. But, you stop him, you got trouble, like he's already said. And so all these people are calling the cops and shit on him and sharing the phone number and everything. And the guy's doing more videos. Like, he's not stopping. And he's laughing at people, and people have found all of his history. He's a fireman. Just looked like a big old round fireman. He was not in shape, nothing like that. And short hair, just a regular, fireman looking guy. And then he, some of them are in shape. I'm not one that's not in shape. And like, if you watch, what was that, Rescue Me, that show? What was that guy's name? I really like that show. But anyways, it's not all the firemen are hot. Some of them are, got pot bellies and stuff like this one. And so so they found this out, found where he lives, found all these things. I tell what car he drives, like where he shops, like that's crazy. But that he is, so he says that he's in a polyamorous relationship of five people. And some of them are obviously trans, because he said, any of them you try and stop going in the bathroom, I will take care, he'll take care of business. Like, you will not stop us from using the bathroom we want to use. It's like, we got to stop doing these public bathrooms the way they've been. I mean, anybody who even has gone in a public bathroom and needed to use it out of necessity is like, this is the grossest thing ever. Like, airports, all of it. It's just, it's something that should be done in private, going to the bathroom, as far as I'm concerned, not as a mass here. Let's all piss together. And some people are doing a lot more than that. So I think it's weird. But now, it's becoming more of an issue, because now we have, people with penises that put on dresses that say they're trans. Whether or not they are or not, it doesn't really matter. You still have a penis. then you should not be going into that bathroom. Even if you're transitioning, then that is your problem. If you're uncomfortable, you don't want to go in that one, then you need to find a family one or something. Not make every woman have to go and have, like we all have to cover up so you can go in and invade where we go to be, do private things. And then to be so blazing as to say, you complain about it, I'll just take this out and just do you in right there. It's like, oh my fucking God. But of course, it's Washington State. And that's what I was saying. This place is so fucking progressive. Like, he's not the only one of these kind of people. Like, those kind of people are accepted here. It's like, who knows? I don't know what's going to come from this. I mean, the guy could be arrested. I don't know. I mean, everything is going to be more and more extreme. I mean, there's so many more extreme crimes going on in homes and oh my God, it's just like, this is intense, man. And that's what I'm saying. It's hard. I can see why a lot of people are just be like, I'm just coming in, doing this thing, and then I'm out. This is fucking hard. And anyone who's here for the Age of Aquarius, you got to ride this shit the whole way in. Like, this is going to be hard. You have to be, really resilient. You have to really, and go with the days. When you have a bad day, don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself on any of this stuff. It's like, you got to find mercy for yourself. You got to find, support for you in yourself. And you can't just be beating yourself down. And this is going to be a hard journey. It's going to be very difficult to see so much struggle. Like, I mean, it's hard to me to see so much. Oh my God, so much pain and struggle. The one girl who I was talking about, who I flicked past her thing. So I don't know how big her following is or whatever, but so she was having some issues. She went to the doctor, and at the doctor's, they told her she needed to go immediately to the hospital, that she has liver cancer. And so she did another video. She's bawling, and she's on her way to the hospital, and they told her she has liver cancer. And even on stuff like that, people still go in and make rude ass comments. Like, she made a video back on one of the comments that was something like, is she drunk? God, people. Like, you got nothing better to do than just go around being a dick in the world. That is the energy that's going to be, like, leaving. That energy is not sustainable. And so even if these people are just playing a part and are paid to be assholes, if you're being, you're not sustainable. And the energy, it just won't be. Something will happen, and fucking TV will fall out of a window on top of your head. Something will just suddenly be like, boom. And, but, that is those ones that can't do the work, or not here to do the work, or whatever. All I'm saying is the ones who are here to do the work. There is going to be a lot of difficulties to go through it. So, it's not like where people keep trying to make like, the chosen. And the way they do it, the chosen ones and all that kind of stuff, it's like you choose you. You choose to, and your soul already did it. Your soul knows if it chose to come here for what part of the ascension that you're here for, what part of the expansion you're here for. Your soul knows. And so it's not, it is, it's already set in place. But the ones that have come in to do the work, like, you can see yourself as chosen. You've chose to do the work. You've chose to put yourself as what is important. So it is, choosing you. And so but the people who are choosing themselves to ride this out, the ones that are here to seed the new age, that are here to build these new cities and towns. I mean, this is going to be challenging and stuff, but it's going to be so worth it. That's what is gonna be so exciting, because everything is gonna be so worth it. And so where they have these people are freaked out, like they think that he wants to go in and control the homeless. Like, if you don't do this, we're going to put you in the can. Like, that's how they're taking it. And it's very different than that. It is going to be, I think that, I think there's so many videos of people who are going out into the homeless communities already and talking to them, giving them money, helping them and stuff like that. So I would imagine that those, because you got the instigators who are out there causing trouble, causing mayhem, you know, blowing things up, breaking into people's house, like all sorts of stuff. And then you have the light side. And so that side, it probably will be people like that who go out and talk to them and see like the people who really want help. Like, I had seen where they were already getting them into hotels and stuff a while back. And so trying to help them get someplace to go. And so it kind of, I think, is like that. Like, there'll be people out there going and seeing, you know, what can we do? It's not going to be like the army going in, what can we do? You know, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be a lot more subtle. Like, I think it's already been going on. And probably there's some people who have lost things or approached. But a lot of people, they won't know. They'll be confused. I just saw a vet yesterday. He was crying. He was like, he had a whole bag of medicine, giant bag, and he said that everybody has died now, and he's the only one left, and he's all by himself, and the bank's taking his house, and he has nowhere to go, and if he's homeless, he's going to die because he can't take care of himself out there. He's got too many meds, and he's sickly, and so I said in the comments, look into Jackson, Mississippi, and the other one, because that is exactly who they want to help, you know, is people who are out there. And so all these people who desperately need help right now, see, there's help out there, but a lot of them, like, it's hidden, and a lot of them are so confused by the misinformation, and so they don't know which way to turn, which way to go. And so a lot of it is going to have to be, you know, leaders going in and showing how this can work. And so, you know, luckily there's people who are over their biases and can do that. But even there's people, you know, a lot of people who support Trump, they're biased in another direction. So there's, it isn't about who you support or who you don't support. It's about, you know, how in touch with reality are you? How awake are you? How much are you paying attention and stuff like that? Because, you know, I mean, there is no good or bad. It's like everything is gray, and it is by your own perspective of your own rules that you decide what is good or bad. So it is different for everybody anyways. But, so all these people who are in mass crises, and I'm sure that there's people who are being approached and being like, you know, what do you need? Do you need to go to rehab? And he said that they're going to start getting some land and putting in these healing center places where there's all these available practitioners and stuff for people to heal because of especially with the drug epidemic. And so that is going to be the thing. They're going to be going out and talking to people and seeing. And if people are like, yeah, I want to fucking get better. And then they're going to do everything they can to help the people. But nobody can save you. You have to save yourself. There's work you have to do. And it's going to be the same for all of it, building the cities and stuff. Nobody's coming in to do this stuff for us. It's going to be us. We are doing it. And the people who are here to seed understand that on another level. The people who aren't or haven't learned it yet are still, you know, attached to the 3D. You know, somebody's going to do it for them. Somebody's going to feed them. Somebody's going to go kill the animals for them. Somebody's going to grow the food for them, everything. And then we just have to go pay for the convenience. Well, it didn't work out so well. And what was that I just saw too with the food thing was God, that gross stuff with the fucking McDonald's. So gross. Every time I hear the fucking footage. No, it was the footage. It was the food that the people grow. I can't think. It just popped in and just slid right out. But sometimes when stuff's coming and you're saying something else, it's hard to like, you can't say it all at once. It's like you need a million mouths going at once. There's like a bunch of stuff. But anyways, oh yeah, because this video with this little girl was eating dinner. She's 5.5. She's eating dinner with her family, and she is bawling her head off. Oh my God, she is so upset because she loves animals. She loves nature. She loves everything, and that's God, and God is nature, and I love it all, and I love all animals and all that stuff. And then she so stop feeding me animals, and I don't want any anymore. And she's going through this whole thing, and then this is all her talking, and she's like, but I really like chicken, and I really like something else. I don't remember what the other thing was. It tastes so, chicken and bacon. I really like chicken and I really like bacon, but I don't want to have it. But if I have to have it, sometimes I want to eat. And her mom's like, you can have it. You don't have to decide for tomorrow what you can decide every day how you feel. Oh, girls, okay, but I don't want you to make it anymore. And it is, there is kids, like, they are feeling stuff on another level. Because their soul is already, they know this stuff. They're not coming here to learn it. They're coming here to teach it. So they feel it on a very deep level. And what was another thing? Another thing that just popped into my head. It was something with, was it something with the kids? Something with the teaching the adult. I see so many different videos of these kids. The kids are going to be incredible. Oh yeah, okay. So that professor, so this professor, she's serious business, and she has been doing a lot of research into this about the Gen A or something. I don't fucking know. She's even saying, and how they determine what, all this bullshit. And then even some, because she said, if you ask any boomer, I think I don't remember if she said Gen Z too. I think she said Gen Z too, but she said definitely if you ask any boomer about what childhood was like, they're all going to say it was the best time in their life. It was fucking great. It was excellent. And then if you ask them, how did you feel about becoming an adult? And they're all like, yeah, hell yeah, I was excited, man. I couldn't wait to get out there and start being a grown-up. And so that's the opposite of what we have now. These ones, they think suicide's funny. They think it is, there's no point. Everything is shitty. They don't want to grow up. The world's going to end. And she started saying, you got to think about, like, they have all these, they've grown up with these, let's all do the lockdown tests and stuff like that, and how that's traumatized them. Well, I grew up, we had to do the same fucking thing, constantly. We had to get under our desks because of, I think they were the atom bomb. I think they called it then. I don't think they called it the nukes. I think they called it the atom bomb. So we had to, it was all during the Cuban Missile Crisis and shit like that. Like, it was constantly we were under threat. There was fucking Vietnam going on. There was people fighting in the streets. We had fights with the Middle East. We were having no gas. They suddenly stopped making everything in America. Like, we went through a lot of fucking shit. That is not that's not the problem. I just want to go into that lady and say, that's not the motherfucking problem. And I did a 3-part fucking comment because it is these kids, they're not only are they having spirituality taken away from them, there's no God. God makes mistakes. God's a fucking dick. He's just an idiot. And these motherfuckers who want to sit there and push their God on you, all they want to do is make you follow their rules. They're rotten fucking pieces of shit. You gotta just fucking any of them you even see. Like, that's just the fucking, that's just the conversation now. Is, you see one of those people out there that want to control you and your world because they believe in God, like, fucking do them in, like, fuck them. And so this is how these kids are being raised. And this over-sexualization and stuff. It's the way, it's all of those things that are being done. And we allowed it because we were so busy that we needed to hurry up and get to work. So we need to get to work, and the schools just took over. I mean, all the manipulation with times of school and all of this stuff has all been about to get your kids more in school, and the waste of time. Before, when kids used to go to the little schoolhouse, I think it was like 40 minutes a day that was spent on their education. They would go up to the school, learn to read and write, and then they go home and do their chores and help with the farms. Like, it wasn't 8 hours a day your kids went to school. No, they went up and learned for a little while, and then they went home. And so and not only have they manipulated that whole thing, but then to even, you take your schoolwork home with you and do more work. And I was definitely had kids in their bedrooms for hours in the evening doing homework, and then if your kid didn't do their homework, you were chastised. You could go before the principal. And then we've all got the PTSD, the principal, like when nobody wants to fucking talk to the principal. And then you just be told, oh, you're a bad student, now you're a bad mom. It's like, fuck you. The whole fucking thing. And there's so much more. Even that thing with Juan the other day, he said they have a way of putting people where they want them to be. That's what I've been saying the whole time. They figure this shit out. Everybody is siphoned in certain directions. Like the CPS was to get children in a certain direction. That's why I kept saying about having that girl here from the system, which she's doing good. She got a job. She's in Oklahoma. She's still with her friends. I mean, we're all still just waiting. This is her adventure. She's the one who wants to go and be out there, seeing what it's all about. She's in a whole nother state, down in a whole nother way of life down in Oklahoma. And so, she's getting an experience. And it's not like, any of us, my daughter didn't even want her to be able to go. Didn't want her to stay. She wanted to be able to go for a couple days, and then she had to come back. And I was the one like, let her go. Let her spread her wings. Like, fuck, her whole life has been so controlled. What she needs is to have support. She needs to have people who are there for her, to know she has a place to go. Don't worry, you make mistakes in life, you still have a place to go. You still have a family to fall back on. That's what people need. And you go and you talk to all these different homeless people, they didn't have anybody to fall back on. A lot of drug addicts say fuck people over so much that their family abandons them. It becomes, just toxic. And so, there's so many things that all need mental health to help them. But anyways, because there's a little girl, this is a big story going on right now too, that I'm sure is on all the different social medias, is because her family in, what state were they in? I don't remember what state they were in, but they had gotten these little twins when they were 4 years old, raised them. And the motherfucking day of their birthday, on the 18th birthday, drove them, I swear to God, I think that somebody said 1,000 miles, but it could have been just a few hundred miles. But they drove them to Atlanta, Georgia, and just dumped them out on the street and said, good luck to you, and drove back. And they are both on the spectrum and delayed. And so the girl's already been swiped. And they think that they've got the name of the person who's already doing the traffic. Because there was so many people freaked out over this story. Everybody was doing GoFundMe. They were looking for her original family. Like, that's a whole big thing. But now she's taken. And so now they're trying to find her. But anyways, that's not the situation with our girl. Our girl is... we're trying to help her learn to be independent, because she's had so much control, and there's a dependency to control. What we have got to do is teach kids to spread their wings. It was a good thing when we were kids, the older generations, being raised in the 60s and the 70s and even the 80s, that to be able to just go outside and play without parents right over you, and going out and getting hurt and doing things. And imagination and creation, all that stuff is a part of development that is so important. If you got a kid who's all wrapped up in courts and going from home to home, that interferes. And we got so much interference with this system and this society. And that's what's wrong with the kids. It'll be easy to fix them once you can start getting them to understand that they have a purpose in the world and that they matter and that it's okay to not be perfect. You just have to accept yourself. It's part of the journey. And, they all just feel so down and beat down and bad about themselves and stuff. And there's not been enough parental influence. Parents have just been in the trap of inferiority complex and just worn out, beat down, don't have time to deal with any more bullshit. You've got problems at work, and then you got problems with traffic, in which I know the fucking traffic is part of the controlment of movement to just cause more interference in people's lives, to keep them home on the streets longer. And it's the whole thing is just, it's all created. It's like they took us out of the ocean, they put us in a fish tank, and then they put the fish tank full of fucking sharks. And then we're all like having to run around and trying to, and they keep saying, oh no, this is normal. It's your fault. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't do this. You're drawing them to you. Quit fucking putting them in here. And, but they are not going to stop until everything goes. And I mean, if it is this weekend, I'll be glad. But man, it sounds like it's going to be intense. But I mean, Jesus Christ, when you have fucking big ass men. I mean, this person is not of a slight build. That woman person, it's not a woman. It's a fucking drag, or not a drag queen. Those ones all put on all the makeup and do sexual dancing. But that, should be in schools, apparently, is the cross-dressers. These fucking cross-dressers. And, who are angry about people not being into their fetishes and stuff. Like, people have whacked out. People have gone whacked out, man. And everybody just demands to be accepted, but they won't accept you for who you are. You can't be a Christian, but you better fucking, you better appreciate guys grinding on little kids in school and waving their penis in girls' bathrooms and shit is like mental. Yeah, it's like you can see why everything has to. Because it's so fucking mental, and people have to recognize what the problems are. What's the issue? How did we get here? How do we change it? And, I from what I can see, it's just like what I said. We've got to have people be healthier. People can't just be running out and getting pregnant and running around having sex with people that they don't know. There's got to be a respect towards intimacy, and there needs to be more of personal building of self before you start going out and trying to blend with another person. You need to know who the fuck you are. So you need to have time. All kids, like, I mean, where people even, oh, it's so cute. They wish, I don't even know, should we, the whole school thing is going to change. So even the school dance, we shouldn't be pushing kids into coupling up all the time. We should be pushing them to just be independent. Like, okay, have a school dance, but don't make it a couples dance. Just let all the kids go out and dance and move around and play some music. Let them all pick a song, and then they can all do a dance and show all the other kids their dance. Like, there's so many different things to do out of creativity and stuff. And, but, we got to stop pushing to like, that's the goal. Hurry up, have a kid and get married and our life's going to be good. No, it's not. You have to go out and figure out. I mean, how many people went and did that and then go like, oh, this isn't feel good at all. I mean, how many guys went and did that and then turn around and go like, I don't even like women. I want to be with men, and I'm attracted to men. And then they're sneaking around and stuff. Like, people have got to figure out who they are before they go in and start causing complications in other people's lives. That was the part of the old age. That was the part of the the experiences and incarnations we went through before. So I'm not shaming them and saying there was no purpose, there was no meaning, it all has purpose, it all has meaning, it all has reason. And all souls come in and do all different kind of crazy stories. So, but it's not the wave of the future. The future is going to be very different, where people are going to respect their bodies. All these girls that are just going all in on this, like, to devalue themselves down to their cleavage, their butts, to whatever. It's like you have so much more to you than a good butt or nice cleavage. Like, I'm sure you want to show everybody, so everybody comes in and tells you how great you look, but you're more than that. So don't get hung up on, something good about you that other people acknowledge. Just be like, yeah, I got a nice butt, or I've got a nice cleavage, but that's just one little simple part of you. It's not all of you, and you certainly don't want it to be the main source of who you are. So there's got to be a deeper dive into people self-discovery, and and then that includes creativity. People have got a lot of creativity in themselves that they don't realize that's in there. It's untapped. And so people need to have that side of their development. There should be so much more about the arts in education. And since education is going to be changing, I think there's going to be a lot more of that. And even, with the drama and the development and the characters, and, it just gives them other perspective and the development of stories and stuff. There's just so much you can do. And is to help children to develop themselves, not you pushing what you think they should be or what you think they should look like or how you think that. It's them figuring it out for themselves. And, it takes a long time. It's not something that you do like, by the time I was 16 to the time I turned 18, I figured all my stuff out. No, it's like by the time you're 18, you're just starting to be pushed out of the nest to go out and figure it out. And I saw one person was talking about in this society, like all these people who have these kids at home and the financial problems and stuff like that have kids start paying like $250 a month for, they go get a job and they just pay to live there, and, they're just renting a room. And then at the point that they're ready to move out, that the parents really didn't keep the money for the house or the bills. They really put it in an account so that the kid has a down payment for a house, which, that's all fine and dandy and nice and good. But that's, changing. It's not going to be like that anymore. It is going to be, I'm sure, if a child, it's not going to be like a 15-year-old can just go out and go, well, I want a house now and stuff. It's going to be, it's going to be different than that. It's not going to be controlled and governed, but it is also not going to be just willy-nilly frivolous. It's going to be more structured, and it's going to be, like if a 15-year-old was going and saying that they needed to leave their house, then that would be like, okay, well, what can we do to help? How can we help? What's going on with your parents and stuff? And that is where there's so many parents who have their unhealed trauma, and then they are struggling. They're not doing well, and they're not doing well for their kids and their families, and they need help. And so, we have a lot of stuff to clean up, but when we're going forward is, it's important to stop pushing sex on kids, stop pushing gender identity. They can figure it out for themselves. Like tomboys didn't need to be told anything, and they sure didn't need their parents to be running down and saying, and they didn't need doctors saying they're going to kill themselves if you don't do that, all of the nonsense, even when, boys wanted to put on lipstick and wear their mom's dress and heels around or whatever. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that they just want to do that for a minute. They want to see what it feels like. What's it feel like to wear a dress and heels and lipstick, And if it feels good to them, they may want to do it again. And they may want to do it again. And maybe they will go through a period like, I think I want to wear a dress and heels. And we should be in a society, I think, that when a kid is going around, whether it's a boy or a girl, and if they are saying, hey, I want to wear this dress to the restaurant, just let them. Just let kids be kids. Let them figure it out. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel anything other than, look at my kids really trying to figure out who they are. It's so cute. Because, you know, the further that they're going out to try and figure it out, the more they're going to figure out who they are. And they may go through that, and then, you know, maybe it will be, you know, oh, well, too many people looked at me. I feel weird. I don't like it. And I don't want to do it anymore. And it's that simple. Or, you know, does it go deeper? But that it would be something that you would figure out with your child. And if your child is having body dysmorphia, I would 100% really push on the spirituality of life and get them to try and understand your soul has no gender. You're in an experience. You're birthed into an experience. It's just the avatar. You know, really try and get them to understand. Like, it's the same thing in the video game. When you go in and you pick your avatar, that is what you did when you were a soul. You picked your avatar that you wanted to come into this experience. It may not make sense right now, but there will be a reason you are who you are that will happen later. Right now, you're just becoming who you are, but you're going to find out later that there was a reason. So, and you know, it could be anything. I mean, maybe you were born as a girl this time because the person you're supposed to meet up with is a man, and you guys came in for that experience, and that is the one that has to play out. So then you go and change. Then how is the person, would they even recognize you? Because you aren't the person anymore that they came to meet. But everything is planned. I mean, there's no messing up like that. If you came in and you got that, that was always the way it was going to be. But I'm just saying that there is, when people keep trying to take destiny into their own hands, and people get really frustrated. They really do think that they can just make things happen the way that they want them to happen. Yeah, you're going to be real frustrated because you don't. You can't. Destiny is at play, and there's nothing you can do. You're on a fucking ride. And you can't decide which direction the ride's going. The ride's going. And it is going to go the way it's going to go because you're in the ride. You already took your seat. And so that is, whatever was going to happen was going to happen. So it's not like you can make a mistake or do something wrong or different. It was always going to happen the way it happens. There's just always things that you're learning all the time. And sometimes you don't know the lessons until much later. And sometimes you don't know them until you even pass over to the other side. So but I would definitely try and get kids to come to terms with accepting themselves, no matter how awkward and stuff. That's the journey, is to come to terms with yourself, of acceptance, and even go so far as to love yourself. And so that is that's going to be a big thing. And like a lot of these kids, they can't hear that. Like this certain generation that is just really struggling, I think. And it's crazy because you have these younger ones underneath them that are coming, that are super spiritual. And they probably, you know, there's probably some they even have born in the same families where they're having these kids that are just lost, and then they're having a sibling all of a sudden just born, and it is going to change the energy, but it's going to bring in something much deeper into the family unit. And it's interesting too, because I just had 2 daughters that just had a baby. And the babies are only a couple months apart. One daughter, she was going through a lot of different problems. You know, she lost a lot of babies to get to that one. But these babies that are being born, they're coming in for a purpose. Like all of them. But this purpose is significant. Because it's like they're a little army of perspective. They're a little army of expansion. So we would be talking to them like a sibling. Say you got a 13-year-old in their room and they're just with their crazy stuff. And then the 3 or 4-year-old walk in there and they're saying something. Then the 3 or 4-year-old's going to say just the right thing. because they're going to be talking to their soul. They're not, and it doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh, magic just happened. No, it has to go in, and it has to fester in there and keep replaying. And then the universe has a way of having things happen to bring that back to the surface. So you would have, this balance that is trying to occur between these two souls. Like this soul came in to help this soul find balance. And so there's all sorts of stuff going on. And if you start looking at life from a soul's perspective, and I keep trying to tell this to my daughter, because she'll call and she'll tell me like these fascinating things about that she's realizing. And then it's really hard for me to talk to her because she doesn't really understand soul talk and spirit. Like the lot of stuff I talk about is really foreign to her. And so I just tell her, you'll understand more. Like it will naturally occur. You'll just understand more and more as you focus on your soul becoming you. It's the merging. And I told her it's the same thing as like you have your younger self. Like people are always doing this child work or whatever. Your what is that called? Your past life. It's your child when you were a kid and you were helpless. Nobody was there for you. I can't think of what it's called, but that same kind of thing. Like if you think of that kid, not just you going in and doing your meditations or in your counseling or whatever, to go back and to save the kid or come in at the right time and sit with them or rescue them or whatever. Everybody's got their own stuff that they do in those sessions. But it would be similar as if it was the child was talking to the future self, because that is what we're doing. So it's going backwards from this way. So this self is doing the kid work. What is that fucking called? Your inner child. So you've got this person who's doing the inner child work. So going back to connect with the past self. And then you have doing your elevation work, your path to enlightenment. So you're connecting with your higher self. So your more advanced self. So the self of you that is further ahead of you. And so you being here, so then you is kind of like a trinity. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Wow, that's trippy. So you as the being has connection to these different aspects of self. But so if you think about like if your inner child would have been able to be the one who was facing forward to be able to speak to you, the person that you are right now. I mean, when I was going through my stuff as a kid, I was definitely being spoken to all the time. Like I've talked about that, and and even to the point where I said that time when my mom was praying and so upset, and how could this happen to Kelly and blah, blah, blah. And they said that children who are abused are never alone. And I have said that the whole time. Like I never was alone. There was always people talking to me. But so the projection into the future self. So if the inner child could project up to here, then see how much more information it could get, because it could ask its more advanced self or its higher self. It could have its more advanced self be telling them. I think a lot of abused kids did, but I don't know. Some of them were having too much dark. I mean, we all are here to play different roles. So I just know the role I am here to play. And they were taught. I was going more. I didn't realize what it was, but now I can understand it. So now I can understand this concept of being here where you are and going to your higher self to figure out, like, instead of trying to control destiny, to connect to your higher self and find peace in the path, in the journey. And so it is, it's like connecting to your more advanced self. So I was trying to explain that to her, because she does, in the CPS, she doesn't do CPS, social work. Oh man, Oh my God. I didn't even think of that. Oh my God. There was, I don't even want to tell too much stuff about this person because I just feel like there's going to be some people who are going to feel like I threw them under the bus or something. And I don't mean that at all. Everything to me is about mental health and, really doing the work and spiritual. There's a merge that is more important than how they've divided it out. And spiritual mental health healing, you do it through yourself. You can have help, but you have guides that are helping you. Your guides will tell you. But anyways, this friend, and it was weird because there was even a girl in that circle, the Love is Blind, that kept reminding me of this girl. And so this girl had been on my mind a few times. But anyways, the thing that just popped in when I said the CPS was like, oh shit, I forgot her mom was the head of CPS in Spokane. And she ended up going and working for CPS, but she, oh my gosh, there was like so many stories with, and it was like she was a young girl, and I don't know her whole life thing, but she started having a relationship in school when she was very young. Just what I was talking about. Like, we got to stop this stuff. And so she started having a relationship when she was really young, stayed with the person. So essentially, like, get together with the person when you're 12 or 13, go to school dance, and then you're a couple. And then you're a couple all through high school. And then what's the natural progression? Let's get married and have kids. And so one of those. So always with the same little boy all the way through school, never self-developed into, she went to college or whatever, but, and I don't remember, she did have a professional job. When I met her, she was, a school counselor for my daughter who was, I don't know, she had attention deficit and they wanted her on meds. It was like a whole fucking thing. And so they had these advocate people that would talk to the kids, and see how they were doing. And then to find out, how abused my daughter was being in the school, or the teacher was making fun of her and like, it was like hellacious. But this person who was the counselor, so she worked at the schools for a long time. And then, so when we became good friends, and we were really good friends for, 10, 15 years. We were both married together. She had her relationship and I had mine. And we would go have like girl weekends, and stuff like that to get away from the family and stuff. So we were really good friends. And then I got divorced. And then I think about a year later, she got divorced. And then, but hers became really, I don't even know, because her husband started calling me. And then when she wanted to go out, like, because at that point, I was already going out and going dancing. I was probably already in 2 or 3 relationships at that point. And she, so she wanted to go out and do stuff, but she kept wanting to go back. She would go to high school parties. She started dating high school boys. She started going out with boys in high school. Her best friend became a girl in high school. She became the drug counselor in school, and they became her friend group, and she'd hang out with them. She'd take them places. And then I was talking to her, and don't forget, I was like anti-weed, and I was very type A, very driven, and, not drugs, like what the hell. And, but, I had done a lot of drugs. So I was not like, I had my opinions about kids doing drugs because I was one of them. And it's like, there's deeper things going on. And so, she's the drug counselor, and she's like, she wasn't worried about them doing drugs so much, like, so she wasn't like really trying to talk them out of it or something, or trying to, I don't know, the whole thing seemed really, really strange. And then the school started catching on. Her husband said that he called me and said she left him for a high school student. And then there started this whole thing, like she was like doing like Laterna, Mary, whatever, that Laterno lady who's just, but that lady, she ended up marrying the guy. And I think she died of cancer a few years ago. But she wasn't just going out with any old kid. She had one in particular that she believed that they fell in love. You know, and like I said, I don't know everybody's soul's journey. Like, whatever they came to learn and experience, that was their experience, their stuff to learn. But this person, she was just dating. It was like, I started seeing it as like, because she had lost her childhood, because she was in a relationship, suddenly she wanted to go back and relive it. She wanted to go back and live these high school years. And she was so it was very dysfunctional, very toxic. We didn't stay friends after. Especially another counselor, a psychologist, who was also a judge apparently in another city. I was saying one day about something about the this toxic relationships that she was doing. Like I had any room to talk, like I was the queen of toxic relationships. But so it's really easy for me to recognize. But me saying that was, you know, no, you're not allowed to talk about something that, you know, somebody's doing something that's dysfunctional. Just, you know, it's a better friend to just let them. It's like, is it really a better friend to just let them? Or is it better to be honest and be truthful and give people feedback? Even if it isn't like you have to be mean or something, but, you know, I mean, if you're a grown-ass woman and your daughter's graduating high school and you want to just go hang out with her friends and party with them, and then you're a drug counselor and you're just going and partying with them, and you're blowing off your adult friends to go out and hang out and party with kids, then you may want to look into some mental health stuff, even if you're a mental health counselor. Like, that's the thing, is there's so many people, they go out and trust certain people with their mental health who are struggling with their own mental health. That's why you don't go out and have someone else do it for you. You got to do it for you. You got to go internal. You got to go in and start trusting. Like, there is a whole communication happening. They will tell you, they will direct you, they will show you all the different things. It is just learning how to communicate, learning how to listen, learning how to acknowledge and tap in and stuff. And they will, you know, they'll start giving you all sorts of signs. And as soon as they catch on to how you communicate with them, I'll tell you, yesterday, this one was a trippy one. And then I'll go, God, I've been talking a long time, is, because this one was trippy because I, you know, for a while I was just, every day there would be like a communication on my YouTube when I would turn it on. And so I would go in and listen to that tarot, and it was like, it was always all different ones, and it was always pick a card. And it would just always be the same message. I kept being the same message over and over. Like I was getting the same message for like a year and a half. And so then I was like, okay, but time was messing with my head. And it was really, you know, messing with it. And so it would get me frustrated. So I was like, okay, I got to stop. I can't listen because these people are putting me off my game by telling me, you know, giving me a time thing. And when time has no relevance. And so that messes with your head though. But so yesterday, for some reason, I wanted to have, I just felt like I wanted to listen. I've been getting like one TikTok after another. Like I stopped listening on here and then I just got bombarded on TikTok. And it was the same thing, the same messages over and over and over. So yesterday I was like, I kind of want to listen to this. I just want to hear one. I just want to see, like, would you have any messages for me? What are you trying to tell me or whatever? And so I did this one, and it was White Feather Tarot. She had put up one about the sun, what was going to happen during the eclipse or something. What energy is coming for you during the eclipse or something like that. And this one was so specific, I couldn't even believe how specific. It trips me out when they will sit there and say so specific about your own story, about the stuff they tell you in your head and tell me. And so all of this stuff, but the whole thing that she was telling me was about this person, that just what they kept telling me about, that we are coming towards each other. But it is, the way she was saying it was like this, it's kind of like coming into life as it's like a game. Like, okay, I know I can find you. I know I can find you. And being like, we know we'll find each other no matter what, because it's part of the game to come in and then to find each other through vibration. I don't know. It's very trippy, and I'm really interested to see, like I've said, like the stuff that they have told me is very specific, and it's a very specific person. They've never gone different on the person. It's always been the same person since they started showing and telling me. So I don't know how it's going to play out. I mean, I just know how it started, how it's been going, and the stuff that they have told me and stuff. But I was like, that is so trippy, because that is exactly what they had told me. Even to the part of, you were going to meet when you're older. You're going to go through these relationships when you're younger. It's like they're preparing you for this other one, because you have to learn and you have to go through all this stuff. But this one is that you're being prepared for is this, like, this is very much on purpose. Like, there's a whole destined thing to it. Like, so anyways, I'm excited to see how things are going to play out, especially over the next few days, because I do feel like that there's a lot going on with this energy, and a lot of, I think a lot of stuff is going to start flipping. I don't know. I mean, I'm still free falling. Every time any kind of thoughts that come into my head that want to tell me, like, oh, well, this could happen, it's like, nope, I'm free falling. I'm free falling here. I'm just falling from the sky, and I'm going to see where I'm going to land. I don't know where it's going to be, but I know where they've told me that I'm headed. So we'll see how it all goes down. So anyways, stay focused on, and focus on what they tell you. There's so many people that just are out there trying to force life to happen. You can't force it to be what you want. You're here to learn how to let it be and to enjoy the ride. So anyways, and develop yourself. Just start recognizing that the ride is there to help you grow, to help you become your best version of yourself. And, and don't forget, when you do go in those med beds and stuff, you are going to come out like, if your nose was crooked and you hate your nose, or is a little puffy or whatever, if you've got any of the things that you can find where we nitpick our faces to death, that those things will be fixed, I think. I don't think there's going to be, I really think people are going to come out of these, not like everybody's going to look the same and everybody's going to look hot, but everybody's going to look good. Everybody's going to look good, I think. Everybody's going to look healthy. Everybody's going to, and people are not going to be so weird about the outside. It's going to be a lot more open to all the beauty out there. It's not going to be so like, oh, this beauty standard, this one right here, that's the one. All the millions of people, but that person right there, we all need to look like that. It won't be like that. It's going to be just like so much beauty. And people are going to just really acknowledge and respect. But they got to start learning to respect themselves, like I said. And it's got to start with the kids. If I had kids right now at raising, I would just, everything would be about, like spirituality and what's your connection? How do you feel about that? Well, what do you think? You get them, pull them out of them, not you telling them what to think, how to be, what to do. And this rule and that rule, like, help them discover themselves, because that's what we need out in the world, is people who are sure of themselves. people who feel good about themselves, people who feel accepted about who they are. That's the important part. The rest of this nonsense, yeah, you can't change yourself into the ideal. There is no ideal. There is only acceptance and not acceptance. And it's a personal journey. So anyways, that's a lot of ranting and rolling. So I will talk to you later. Bye.